Okay, yeah, we're heading into another two games in 3 days, and obviously Michigan State presents a heck of a challenge. I think the first time that we played them, we caught them playing maybe as well as they've played all season, and their physicality, the speed at which they played at, the toughness, it was all on display, and we didn't really have a whole lot of answers that night. So we're going to have to be much better in a lot of areas. Hopefully we have an energized building that helps our guys compete, and it's just going to be one of those nights where you're going to have a tough, hard-fought night. And for our guys, next couple of days of preparing mentally and physically, just get up for what is one of the best teams in the country. And then we'll depart on Sunday and head to play Rutgers on Monday night on a short turnaround. Rutgers is an extremely hard-playing team. Watching them on film, the way they defend, the way they rebound right now is as good as any in the league, and it'll be a really hard game for us as well.
All right, first question.
Coach, you had to bring different lineups together, different reasons this year. You've lost guys throughout the year. How tough has it been competing in this Big Ten season this year with having the crammed-in schedule, with all that stuff brought together? How tough has it made it on your squad?
It's been tough. I mean, we've had setbacks with injuries. We haven't really had our full roster for portions of the season, and that's always difficult. But you look for guys to step up, and guys have, I think, done a good job of that, of earning more minutes and competing and playing hard, and you're trying to do your best to play the best basketball you can at this time of year. So. Obviously the schedule is well documented. Everyone's had to deal with it. So, we're no different than any other team. You got bumps and bruises along the way. You got to find a way to hang in there. And, that's what we're, pretty much doing right now. As you get through Rutgers, it spaces out a little bit more. And the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, is going to go really fast. So, at that point, hopefully you're playing your best ball.
With Michigan State, how much of a factor is not only their talent, but the number of guys that they have with size, length, and skill that they can just keep rolling in?
Yeah, I mean they're really hard to deal with. I mean, it starts with tremendous physicality at all positions, not just one. And when they sub, in particular defensively, they don't really take a drop off. They can continue to just keep coming. With the physicality on the glass and the speed at which they played at on offense. So their depth is definitely a strength of them. But I think just their overall size and talent level, and obviously the experience that their freshmen got a year ago now turning into sophomores. I mean, you can see, a team that's it's got a lot ahead of them. And they are tough to deal with. They are tough to deal with. There's very little drop-off. On either end of the floor, their execution when they sub, and they got, again, guys really stepping up and playing well within their roles. And if you look at their starting five, you could arguably make a case it's probably one of the most talented starting fives in college basketball.
I know it was a tight turnaround from Purdue to Ohio State, but you talked about Devontae really responding from Purdue, and then obviously he puts up the numbers he does against Ohio State. But what did it look like maybe in terms of him getting focused in on rebounding the way he did?
I think it's just attitude. I thought he had a humbleness about him. I think most guys, can react in certain ways when they don't maybe play as well or don't, didn't play as much minutes as he wanted against Purdue. And I thought he had a humbleness about him. I thought he paid attention. I thought his attention to detail in our walkthroughs and our conversations and scouting was much better. And you could tell sort of on game day through our game day prep over in our shoot around that he was pretty dialed in. So. I thought he had a good attitude going into that game. I thought that he also, played. He showed he played really well. He was under control, and he was one of the lone bright spots probably in the game.
Justin seems like he's a guy who maybe down the line can be a better rebounder than he's been of late. I mean, how do you kind of keep that out?
Yeah, it's a big topic of conversation for him and our team. Coming down the stretch, we're not rebounding, at that spot very well, and it's hurt us. Justin's had his moments, I think, where he's really attacked the offensive glass. He showed his talent level there. But the physicality and the one-on-one rebounding battles and just the strength to go up and get balls, wanting to get balls, he's got to have a different mindset, finishing out this month. And as we get into the conference tournament and whatnot, it'd be a big, big lift, as we talked about yesterday with him, if he could start to really concentrate and start to rebound at a higher clip. Because, obviously when you're undersized at times, you're relying on guards to kind of get in there and clean up. But when you have those 50-50 one-on-one balls that you got to get, he's got to come down with more of those. And I think that's something we're going to focus, really a lot on him as these games continue to go.
Has Colin been making any progress since he warmed up on Tuesday, and do you expect to have him tomorrow night?
Not sure if he'll play against Michigan State, but he is making progress. He's more of a non-contact mode in practice. I think he'll continue to progress that a little bit today. To throw him in against Michigan State without really practicing the last couple weeks may be difficult, maybe Rutgers, but he's moving in the right direction.
Freddie's played really well the past couple of games. What have you seen out of him, and how do you plan to utilize him against the Michigan State bigs defensively?
Yeah, Freddie's he's strung together a few, maybe our last 3 games. He's really done a nice job. He's competed probably as well as anybody inside defensively. He continues to sort of give us activity on the glass and rebound. He's had his moments where he's been able to finish some balls off around the basket for us. So he's played well. This is probably the best stretch. Definitely going to need him, as many minutes as he can handle against Michigan State, just because of the amount of size they have on the floor. And, he's quick. He's battling. He's got to use his quickness. He's got to do his work early. He's got to play longer stretches for us where he doesn't get tired. But he's battling for us right now.
What's the difference in preparing for a team when you're playing them the second time in a season versus the first time?
Well, I think you take 90% of your inventory on only one game. You don't have to watch 10 games. You got to watch that first game that you played them on. What went well? How did you execute on both sides of the ball? And how do you have to be better moving into game 2 in some of the areas they hurt us in? And it wasn't so much as plays that hurt us in that game as much as it was their style. I thought they ran faster than us. They posted harder than us. They rebounded with great toughness on both ends. They just didn't allow us on the ABC things to, we weren't good in those. We weren't good in the normal ABC basketball plays. It wasn't about intricate systems or all that. I mean, we just got out physical. We got outmanned, and coming into Saturday, that's probably the biggest thing. We're gonna have to be much better in those areas.
Coach, in the first game, they kind of just seemed like they came out and punched the team in the mouth, and they just never recovered. What do you need to do or have to do to prevent that from happening?
Well, I mean, it starts, in my opinion, with them with their break. Their break really hurt us. Nick Ward's ability to, command attention at the basket, in transition, and their push up the floor with the pass. It was just on us, really, really fast, and it didn't let up. And I think that's the thing that the team sort of has to understand. It's not like, hey, this first 6 minutes are important. It's going to be like every single time you're going to have to do it. And then, I really thought that they were just faster, on everything that they were doing than us, and we were reaction oriented. So they definitely had a plan that night. They executed it really well, and it'll be much similar on Saturday. I don't see them changing a whole lot.
Winston is one of the better three-point shooters in the country. He's a really intelligent guard. How do you handle him defensively?
Yeah, he's having a great year for their team. He's shooting the ball extremely well. He's pushing the ball much faster right now. In game 1, he had 8 assists and 1 turnover. I think you just see a guy that's got a lot more experience than he's had, and I think he knows exactly what Coach wants him to do. And the fact that he's shooting the ball like he's shooting it, just an added weapon for them. And I think most people will tell you probably he's a big key on how far they really can go at the end of the year, because if he plays well, they're really hard to deal with.
And then Zach has kind of been more active and kind of looking for a shot recently. Is that something you've told him to do?
He has to be aggressive within his role. I think at times teams choose to maybe back off him or not guard him or do certain things. So the ball usually finds those guys sometimes. And, he's got to step up and take the good shots. He's capable of making them. But just staying within his role. I think he, at times, has been as good as anybody on the floor for us doing what he does. And, we're pleased with him. And I think that moving forward, continuing to have him be aggressive offensively just in terms of when he's open, taking good shots.